This is Jake from KUSA 9 News at 9, and this episode is sponsored by Bad Bunny, providing custom clothes, lingerie, and accessories for badasses. Each item is artist-made start to finish, from the design of the fabric or pattern, to the handmade creation of designs like the dinosaur bone undies, unicorn pasties, teeth print dresses, and a ton more. Bad Bunny is here to fulfill your need for unique, spooky, creepy, sexy, and nerdy handmade fashion. The Bad Bunny herself offered up 5% for you survivors. Just enter the coupon code UNCHOSEN at checkout. Find her shop at etsy.com/shop/badbunnyshop. On Facebook at facebook.com/badbunnyart, and on Instagram at badbunnyshop.
I'm Dave Fitzgerald, the author of Nailed and the Complete Heretics Guide to Western Religion, and I survived the apocalypse.
Welcome to Atheist Apocalypse, a fictional comedy podcast for reason. All of the characters you are about to meet are fictional and do not represent real people, except when they do. Either way, we welcome you to the show and would like to encourage you to head over to atheistapocalypse.com for more information about the show, as well as details on how you can contribute to help keep the lights on. After all, this is the apocalypse, and we could definitely use all the help we can get. Thank you!
Welcome, fellow believers, and you other residents of the Tri-Counties. I'm Jake Leminski, and accompanying me tonight is the ever-dependable, if hardly ever rational, Beatrice Johnson. Good evening, B. How you doing?
Well, I'm becoming numb to your insults, so that's something. Beyond that, I'm doing well, Jake.
That's great, Beatrice. But we have important things to get to, so let's not delay. Important things like the fact that I was threatened by the same mysterious letter writer as old Jake. Fortunately for me, I'm not afraid of anyone who hides behind a keyboard. And that approach was further validated by a local spiritual leader I was referred to by Shaman Ramen, who you'll remember is solely responsible for helping my parents survive the horrendous events last fall. I'm loath to give any details at the moment because Tyler is hanging around the studio.
I'm working? You know, doing all those things that you can't lower yourself to do that.
But allow me to assure you, dear listeners, that the grace of God has shone on me, even in this post-rapture world, by delivering me to a community which I can only describe as ethereal. If only all of my friends in the community were so open to the truth. Well, I don't want to hog all of our airtime with details of my personal life. I'm sure you're more than interested, but we need to keep moving along. On to the continuing saga that is the disgusting messages being left all over the infrastructure of the Tri-Counties. In a previous broadcast, we told you about disrespectful teenagers tagging all of our bridges and overpasses with their filthy graffiti. Well, Sheriff Roger Rogers and his crack staff of demoralized deputies have yet to uncover just who is guilty of this disgusting activity.
Though we're not sure it was teenagers, one could definitely be faulted for claiming the messages of positivity and encouragement are disgusting. The fact remains that these messages are indeed spreading to other types of structures.
The bad news just keeps filtering in, as it's become apparent that local man of God turned school board president for life, Lowell Deludier, has gained a number of enemies in the Tri-Counties since our last broadcast. He's being publicly demonized for his role in the Free Water Initiative that dried the county's reservoirs, and the subtly included measure that also established the rain tax on your property. Mr. Deludier, a visionary if there ever was one, was simply doing what needed to be done to ensure the Tri-County's vibrancy for generations to come, and he's being slaughtered for it in the court of public opinion. Thankfully, public opinion doesn't matter. You know what they say about opinions? They're like,
we're all aware of what you think of other people's opinions, Jake. The Tri-Counties has been on a razor's edge ever since the proclamation that the rapture caused almost half the population to disappear, and we as a community are struggling to determine just how we want the world to be run. In a time when you'd think humankind would come together to unite under the banner of dependency for survival, we've instead remained the same old selfish, greedy, and self-preserving leeches we've always been, and this rain tax is just the latest in a long line of narrowly focused policies.
That's a little unfair, Beatrice.
How so?
Well, you're ignoring the benefits of this potentially wayward policy. Sure, the Tri-Counties may be struggling to find fresh water sources to sustain us, but because of the rain tax and the incredible success of the Hendersen rain filtration system, the counties are awash in the green. And I'm not talking about the vegetation kind. No, listener, what Beatrice is failing to mention is that between the rain tax and the kickback the government is getting from the incredible sales of the Henderson system, the Tri-Counties has suddenly found itself quite solvent. Basically, I'm saying we're a wealthy community. So stick that in your pipe and smoke it, naysayers.
While that may be true, it doesn't tell the full story.
No time for the full story, B. We have breaking news to get to. The open race for the office of Supreme Chancellor is not without fallout. For weeks now, you more liberal residents of the Tri-Counties have badgered our representatives for their apparent apathy, and no matter how much you're told that you're wrong, you continue to believe you're right. Well, the MGE, in all its wisdom and fair-mindedness, has taken steps to ensure equality across the political spectrum, even for the misguided, left-leaning portions of our community.
This supposed oneness initiative is actually a serious attempt by the MGE, who still has not named their candidate for the open public office, to revamp broken relationships around the Tri-Counties. We're not sure what the rest of the political world on the other side of Sunrise Peaks is like, but the animosity is very real here, and this is possibly a step in the right direction.
You're not the only skeptic in the crowd today, that's for sure. According to our sources, friends from my church group, but really, I'm just bragging now. Anyway, these sources say this initiative isn't likely to garner support for a large contingent in the Tri-Counties, including most of the people I know. In fact, to be completely blunt, I find it more than slightly silly and completely unnecessary. I can't imagine it will experience a long life.
What Jake is referring to is the Oneness Initiative's newest measure announced through the Golden Foghorn on Pier 13 just a few moments ago.
According to my sources. My friends from church.
Yes, according to Jake's friends at church. The new measure now prohibits Tri-Counties residents from offending each other. Literally. I'm serious. With this new standard, you will have to be very careful of what you say and who you say it around.
I cannot tell you how thrilled I am to hear that you are as critical of this as me. It's sort of refreshing. Maybe I will keep you around.
You know, I should remind you that you're not only almost completely mentally incapable of making personal decisions, but you're also barred from making that specific decision in the workplace.
More importantly than Tyler's opinion, we need to get over to Newly Rich, our weather entrepreneurs, Max and Andy. What are you serving up today, guys?
Cheerio and good morrow.
Quite.
Looks like everything's coming up Henderson in the Tri-Counties. We would like to thank the people of the Tri-Counties for their patronage. We would hope that our current financial status will stand as a shining example as to why you really should be listening to us.
Fact. Our hard work and perseverance through the laughter has finally paid off. Henderson Rainco has future plans to expand our bunker system, build a new biodome, and hopefully, in the distant future, we will...
I had an idea to build a giant disc in the sky. We could use to block out the sun during severe droughts. This would help keep much of our water supply from dissipating.
Finally, like the ancient aliens of old, we will have complete control over the sun. Which we will use to the benefit of the Tri-Counties.
Many have walked away from information that the disappearances were due to alien abductions. The whole rapture thing has really taken off. Either way, people are signing up to join our Henderson Vault Co. family. Here, we can re-educate people and properly inform them of their origins on this planet.
We need to be on the right side of this social issue now, or be the horror stories in the history books of the future. Aliens are among us. We need to accept that, to weed out the bad ones. Every person who enters a vault is scanned in our airport security scanner thingy. Even people in wheelchairs.
And remember, folks, Ardet Fecit Prius. Back to you, Jake.
Thanks, guys. And again, congratulations on your success. I've never doubted you for a moment. Unlike Beatrice.
Yes, guys, I am happy for you and your newfound riches thanks to the subsidies provided to you by the taxpayers of the Tri-Counties, which helped you to launch this project of yours. Interestingly, you'd think that when taxpayers fund something, they would ultimately get some sort of return, but that doesn't seem to be the case with either the rain tax or the Hendersen system. Private citizens must scrounge for clean drinking water any way they can, often going to the expense of installing private wells on their property, which, of course, can now be further taxed by the MGE, all while our schools remain unfunded. Claims of "there isn't room in the budget" and "I can't believe what Miley Cyrus just did" from the absent MGE representative did little to allay fears and anxiety.
That's just the common citizen looking for drama where there isn't any. There will always be struggles in life. It's our test. But that doesn't excuse responsible citizens for overlooking the positive. We're the richest we've ever been. And in the big picture, isn't that what it's all about? Oh, what are we having for dinner? The sweet taste of capitalism? I'll have seconds. Thank you. Now, off to you, Venice.
Hello, my lovelies. I just wanted to drop you a line before I head out to Biff's new class at the yoga studio. It's rather hard for him since Yogi Brahma came back with his cute blonde friend and Biff has been trying to find a niche for himself. Well, with today's new proclamation that it is prohibited to offend anyone, Biff had an epiphany. So, he's organised a How Not to Be Offended class at the yoga studio. I have no idea what he has up his sleeve, but he said to bring yellow candles, an incense burner, and our best yoga mats. I'm very intrigued to see what he's come up with, my lovelies. He also said that there would be a very special batch of brownies for everyone, and to make sure we all had a ride home for the end of the evening. I'm not sure what sort of activities would necessitate not driving home, but he's definitely piqued my curiosity. In other news, Cosmere is still seeing the two men in the vortex, though neither of them have much to say yet. The new man seems to smoke a lot though, and still keeps trying to inhale that white powdery cloud around him. And now there's a strange smell coming from the vortex too. The other man seems to be very annoyed with the new man, and keeps trying to wave the smoke and the strange powdery cloud away. It doesn't sound like they enjoy sharing space very much. So I wonder what could keep them so intertwined like that. Cosmere says she may have to enlist a friend of hers to try and get through. She didn't tell me who just yet, but only that his consciousness is on an even higher plane than hers, quantum even. I can't wait to see what they can manage to find out. Oh, there's Gary. He says the limo is ready, so I'd best be off. I don't want to keep Biff waiting on his big night. So, until next time, my lovelies, remember that the truth is whatever makes you happy, and reality is whatever we believe it to be. Namaste.
Thank you, Venice. We have our wonderful international man of mystery, Fabrice Le Chevalier, on the phone. Let's see what he has up his sleeve.
Bonjour, Beatrice. It's been a long 2 weeks. Alas, the separation has given me a moment to reflect on you silly Americans and your scientific studies of the long-term impact of just about every facet of your existence. It's almost as if you don't realize that we all grow old. Everything has a long-term impact. You really could learn a thing of 400 from the French. I mean, look at us. We eat, we drink, we shop around, and we make sweet, passionate, erotic love to each other all day long. We don't worry about the end, we ravish the present. This made me think about this broadcast contribution. So, here's my top 5 list of things Americans don't seem to appreciate. Number 5. Domestic terrorism. I mean, you all invest time in being activists against stone monuments on public property. I'm sure Syrians would totally empathize with your plight, seeing as how they have no struggles to face. Number 4. Tap water. I know, a few months of picking banana spiders out of your water was such a tragedy compared to Africans who have to walk 5 miles per day to get a bucket of filthy water they have to boil just to use. 3. Fresh produce. Do you know the logistical wonder that has to happen perfectly on a routine basis so your spoiled asses can get fresh produce year-round even when something is out of season? Numero 2. Wi-Fi spots. You're really going to whine when the free public Wi-Fi is slow? That is what is going to make your day suck? And lastly, numero 1. Freedom. That is enough. I'll take my leave now. Call you later, Beatrice.
Fabrice, what a man.
Not a girl, not yet a woman, Edwin Bonshift is back to try and convince us why the wanton ways of Hollywood are more important to our internal salvation than following the teachings of holy men. Give it your A game, Edwin. I'll be harshly critiquing your work.
Thank you, Jake and Beatrice. It's me, your reporter of all things Hollywood, Edwin Bonshift, forever removed from people he once called friends to talk about them while miles away in a county filled with wonky flowers and spider water. The hosts of The View, a popular daytime talk show, are in hot water after making light of eating disorders on air recently. Starting with a discussion of Donald Trump losing weight, the conversation spiraled into a discussion of whether bulimia or anorexia would be the better eating disorder to have. They settled on bulimia. You know, I almost met Ryan Gosling once at a premiere after party. I saw him across the room, and I liked him in Murder by Numbers. I got really nervous, and I thought a drink would help steal my nerves when I got a chance to speak to him, and that turned into 2 or 3 or 4. Anyway, Lindsay Lohan, America's sweetheart / tragic 13-car pileup in slow motion, is shooting her first film in years, revealing the news by way of an Instagram selfie featuring her in bright lipstick and damp hair. You know, I don't know why I drink so much. I get really, really sweaty when I'm nervous, and I was nervous just trying to make my way over to Gosling. Nervous, sweaty, and drunk. I made it halfway around the room before I panicked and made a mad dash for the men's room. Speaking of, Ryan Gosling recently confirmed his lead role status in the highly anticipated Blade Runner sequel. Said Gosling in a recent interview, "It's exciting, all of those things, and if I say any more, there's a chip in me that will. I'm such an idiot. I know he saw me, I know he did. I don't even remember the run for the restroom, just a blur of judgy faces. I remember coming to, my face caked in vomit, my suit damp as I tried to rinse myself off in a tiny restroom sink. I sacrificed my tie to clean most of it off, and then I just ran. Fled is a better word. I fled the party. It was a good tie, too. It's an image-conscious business acting, and I didn't want that to be my first impression, so I went home and took a long shower. I hope nobody important heard that story. Look at that. There's no more time. That's all from what's left of Hollywood for me, Edwin Bonshift, here at KUSA 9 News at 9. Back to you, Jake.
I hope you're okay, Edwin.
I don't think I will ever be okay again.
Anyway, there seems to be some truth to the claims that the MGE isn't fully on board with their recent decision to ensure no one is allowed to offend anyone else.
That's correct. My sources,
we know,
are telling me that it was a contentious issue within the chamber of the Capitol. The decision to sacrifice principles for pragmatism was not an easy one, and the debate was, at times, heated, with some of the representatives of the MGE hurling insults and even sliartars at one another in an attempt to avoid this drastic action. It appears making peace with the more sensitive residents of the Tri-Counties, who are most likely to initiate riots and looting, has come at a great cost for our stand-in government. We'll have more on this as the story progresses, but for now, let's get over to Artie and see if he feels like covering anything to do with sports this time around.
There's the television. It's all right there. All right there. Look, listen, kneel, pray. Mercy.
Possible to turn that music down so maybe a couple of the boys can talk.
Hey there, sports fan.
We're consumers.
I'm here today at a poker tournament. This is a high-stakes game amongst the Tri-Counties elite. And they're letting me fit in.
Don't buy things toilet paper.
Go fish.
Electrically operated psychical device.
Sorry for the music in the background. It's a bit loud in here. It's really loud in here. I can't barely hear myself think.
That music is for everyone. We don't realize is that
My entourage tells me they're handling it after lunch. It's pizza day today. The poker game has really heated up. Bob had an ace flush last time, and Tom won the previous round with Uno. Amazing. It's really loud in here. The waitress gave me double pills this morning because I'm so manly. It's so loud in here.
He was nuts. He was a fruit.
Well, while this game keeps going, we'll move on to the checkers tournament in the very same room. I've never seen so many kings. Oh, a double jump. Well played, Eddie. Okay, now it's Bert's turn on the red side. In a surprising upset, Bert's pieces all move to be kinged at once. Oh, Eddie comes back by flipping the table. So exciting. Well, it's medicine time, so I'll send it back to you in the studio.
Seriously, how many
I find myself on the planet Ogo, part of an intellectual elite, preparing to subjugate the barbarian hordes on Pluto.
From bedpan to the man with the plan, let's get you over to Rick Beckley for the latest installment of his report from the field.
People are not liking this oneness program, huh?
Well, people have a long history of not liking being told what to do.
Yeah, like most of my producers.
That's probably more to do with you than them not liking being told what to do.
Thank you, Sarah. We have our disagreements from time to time, but every once in a while, you get it.
Yeah, totally what I meant. Anyways, Ruben got in touch with me and said the MGE has made it illegal to offend anyone.
What? How's that even possible?
For you, it's not.
Oh, ha ha ha. And I'm sure you never offended anybody.
I'm sure I have. I try not to do it on purpose, though.
Oh, I'm sorry. Is it still legal if it's done by accident?
No.
We live in a world where all you have to do is be affiliated with a political party or a religion and you're offending somebody.
Yeah, you have a point.
I often do.
And he's back.
Did Sandwich Man give you any idea on what made him pass such a stupid law?
From what he said, it's solely based on people not supporting the MGE's Oneness Initiative.
Really? Let's see if we can end that.
Ha ha ha. How?
Do you agree with it?
Of course not. It's stupid.
Stupid how?
Passing a law like that can't work.
Why?
It's like trying to pass a blasphemy law. If you are fair to all religions, then it can't work.
Wait, I'm lost.
No big shocker.
I'm offended by that.
If you make it where you can't be blasphemous against any religion, then simply saying something as simple as Jesus Christ is Lord and Savior is blasphemous to any other religion that isn't Christianity, so it can't work.
No, I see what you're saying.
What if the very premise of this law they're passing offends me? Then what?
Yes, then we'll say that. Give me the mic.
It's on your lapel, dummy. It's always on your lapel. Each and every time we do this.
Rick Beckley here to announce that the MGE has passed a law stating that it is illegal to offend anyone. Well, guess what? According to my producer, that is blasphemous to Jesus.
Wait, what?
Relax, Sarah. You're gonna get credit for this. Just keep rolling.
I don't want... Why does this always happen to me?
Anyways, you're offensive, MGE. You need to stop being offensive. Sarah Donovan will not tolerate it anymore. This has been Rick Beckley, KUSA 9, News at 9. Saving the world, one story at a time.
Well, I'm not likely to save the world, but I can save face for some of you who have written to me. Let's look at 3 reader responses from this past week. Pat R700. I really don't know why the aliens didn't take you with them. It sounds like you've been working very hard at being appealing. Maybe they will like another story about the poisoned rings. Latte Lover 69. Wow. I'm not sure I've ever seen anyone so, excited over latte. A secret ingredient, you say? Why not send me some, and I'll serve it at the next seance. What's up, chick? Your aura has definitely gone sour. I'm going to send you a gift certificate to Bittersweets. Get yourself a premium cucumber, and that will sweeten that aura up in no time. Make sure to get the ones with the organic coating. They glide the best. As always, dear readers, thank you for writing.
Thanks again, Venice. Well, it appears the rumors have been confirmed. I kept quiet to Jake's peacocking throughout this whole broadcast, but now I can take pride in sharing with you a tidbit of information I had been trying to communicate all evening. One of the concerns I had about the MGE subsidizing the Hendersen system without further study was public safety. Well, I can now confirm that the Tri-Counties Public Sanitation and Addictive Narcotics Dispensary has completed their study on the Hendersen system and have found dangerous levels of toxins in water samples across multiple double-blind studies. Listeners, I highly recommend that you stop simply accepting everything you hear on television and even radio and use a skeptical eye when examining claims. We cannot be assured from the sole source of these devices that they're completely safe. This study shows otherwise. Until a consensus is formed...
USA! Enemies of freedom. Face the music. Come on, boys, take them down. President Donald Trump knows how to make America great. Deal from strength or get crushed every time.
Bro, you're getting like so good at these.
You know, I'm starting to see a trend between our outlandish claims and this unsolvable, at least for Tyler, mysterious beeping noise. It doesn't take a genius to recognize that.
Congratulations. You definitely just insulted yourself.
This broadcast was brought to you by Ted's Tennis School. Are you a busy man with the big people responsibilities? Do you not enjoy coming home after a long day of work only to find your wife complaining about the latest female drama or expensive perch you couldn't buy because you said you didn't have the money? Do you wish she'd find something to do with her time besides uncover new ways to exhaust your savings account? Well, get her signed up for one of the instructional courses down at Ted's Tennis School. TED offers multiple women-only classes such as Serving Servitude Basics or the new course, Learning Linguistics. So she'll understand what terms such as doubles and no man's land really mean. And of course, don't forget the all-time favorite course of patrons of the school, How to Perfect Your Stroke and Like It. Ted's Tennis School. We specialize in the women's game. Bring your wife on down so she can feel the power of the backhand.
Tyler, who is now covering events at the Capitol for us while also ensuring the studio runs smoothly, has called into the station with a report on what he's seeing there. Tyler, is the Capitol in a state of chaos like Jake's sources have been reporting?
Indeed it is, BD. I've been here on and off throughout the day, and I've got to say that I've been pretty disappointed by the behaviors of the MGE reps.
Oh, what's got you upset this time, Tyler?
It's not a matter of being upset, but more of having a sense of responsibility and maturity to serve as the foundation for my disappointment. But thank you for inquiring, Jake. You know, maybe it's a good thing that we're a radio show and for some reason television stations just haven't been able to pick themselves back up after the rapture, because I'm not sure I'd want my fellow citizens to be able to actually visualize the behavior of our new lawmakers. I understand that it's not easy to please everyone, and compromises have to be made in the name of progress, but the way our representatives have represented us has to be one of the greater disappointments of my life.
We've been hearing that these sessions to establish the no offense clause were very heated at times, but what types of things did you actually see the MGE representatives doing during the discussions? Were they being as childish and destructive as we've heard?
That's exactly right. Their behaviors were incredibly inappropriate, and some of the slings and arrows that were aimed at the residents of the Tri-Counties were, at best, disgusting. For example,
Weird. Unfortunate for that to happen right when Tyler felt he had something important to share. I'm sure the lost opportunity will be overstated at the next opportunity. Listeners, in this season of remembrance for our Lord and Savior and His sacrifice, it is important to remember that change, Real change isn't birthed without scars. What Tyler and his ilk may see as atrocious, others would see as passion, as drive, as fire. The worst critic of any politician is a sidewalk observer. Sure, they know you have to be careful crossing the street. They know where it's safe to step into the road, and yet they remain safely on the sidewalk, observing and criticizing those who are brave enough to do what they themselves are not. I'm sure that will offend someone, somewhere, somehow. Because in the digital age, the one thing that is guaranteed more than bad content is that even the slightest statements can instigate the largest whirlwind of faux offense. That is why it is vital that we remember. Stay calm, and calm we shall stay.
The Atheist Apocalypse podcast is a pulsating production. You can find more information and links to this wonderful #1 show that I produce at our Patreon campaign at www.atheistapocalypse.com. Today's episode was written and edited by Paul Sading, Brian Bristol, Jeff Anutzis, Jay Crowfoot, Deborah McTaggart, Stephen Bateman, and Dan Coca-Cola. It was produced by Brian Bristol. Music and sounds were created by Jason Cabot, who's the greatest musician, #1 in his class of loststateofmind.com. All artwork you can enjoy on our YouTube channel was created by Lucy D. All studio logos were created by Greenlight Creative Design and Communications Studio. You can find more information at greenlightstudio.co. The voice of Venice was Donna Shell, creator and host of the greatest podcast, the Big Chesticles podcast. Fabrice was played by Joseph Schoenberg. He's from France. I don't like France. You can find him at his blog, thepromenader.blogspot.com. Be sure to like us. I like us. You should like us. Come on, everybody like us. At facebook.com/Atheist Apocalypse Podcast. Follow us on Twitter at AA Podcast Show, the best Twitter name that anyone ever had. We would like to thank each and every one of me who helps me support the show to keep it alive and well, which is more than we could say about this post-apocalyptic world I, Donald Trump, have created for you. That was the worst Trump impression ever.
Over here, over there, freedom and liberty everywhere.